Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into this episode of the Payoff Pitch, the Thursday edition. I'm, of course, Jason, and he's, of course, the Hockey Squirrel. And we're brought to you each and every single day by the fantastic sportsbooks BetUS. There's a link down in this video description. Why don't you hop on over there and see all the great things they're doing over on BetUS? Let's go ahead and get Squirrel's opening thoughts in the first inning. We call it quick hits. What's on your mind there, Squirrel?
You ever seen a squirrel in a car tomorrow? But nevertheless, I've done my research for the day, and I have a whole sheet full of things to bring to you here. And yeah, I mean, man, there's some crazy stuff on the board, I guess. You know, you got some plus 300, which I don't know how often you really see that. Some good games. One game that's not even on the board yet, which is game number 2 of the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates there. And I don't know, just kind of all over the place today. Some things I like in the prop department, some things I like in the run line department. So we're just kind of floating all over. I guess we'll get to it in all of our innings here, but looking pretty decent for today's slate, I think, anyway.
Yeah, cool. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. I thought some things really just popped off the page, and I thought there were some easy bets, and then some other things maybe you certainly did have to do some digging in. Boy, I coming off a little bit of a rough day. Boy, that Trevor Rogers over 14.5 outs. Still can't believe this morning, that bet didn't cash. I cruising for 4 innings and then ran into trouble, and Mattingly had no part of him trying to wiggle out of that trouble. He went out there and just gave him a hook. So really tough stuff right there. Mitch Keller, how about that cash cow? How about everybody say Mitch effing Keller, the cash cow? Hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button yet, hit that like button for Mitch Keller, the cash cow. God, I love that guy. Whew. Absolutely love that guy.
Yeah. And it was not the greatest day for me either. I've had a fantastic last couple of weeks. As you know, I dropped that volume way down to where I've only been playing roughly about 3 games per day. Yesterday, I doubled it, and the one day that I go higher volume, and it did not go so well for me. So today I'll be back to my normal deal. But that is a part of what we do, isn't it? And it's very much so learning to deal with that. Every single day is not a win, and there are no guarantees, as we know. You just make the plays that are the largest discrepancies, and they don't always work out in your favor. But over the long term, it's not really a worry because we've been here before. We've done this for years, and we know, we can come back just as fast as things didn't go so well. So keeping your emotions in check is very much the deal here in this space.
Yeah, you'll bounce back. I got no problem tailing your picks today. And thanks for everybody who hung out with us yesterday on YouTube Live. Boy, we cashed 2 NRFIs on YouTube Live. Had a great time with you guys. I watched the broadcast back, and there were some issues, and I apologize for those issues. Those are my fault, and won't repeat those going forward. But that being said, had a great time hanging out with you guys. So thanks for everybody who joined and got 2 good cashes before you headed on out to lunch. Hey, let's go ahead and jump on into that second inning. We call it around the bases. What game did you want to start off with today, Squirrel?
I see Spencer Strider on the mound, and immediately I get very, very excited because of the last couple of games that I've watched of his, and I very intensely watched, I think, 2 starts ago from him. And if you've watched him, there's some things you'll pick up on. And number one being that when his release point of the baseball, the stride, not, play on his name, but the stride that he takes off the mound is actually giving him a 7-foot release point, which is significantly further than your average MLB pitcher. So not only is he getting closer to the plate on his release point, but then he's burning them in there 100 miles an hour. So the reaction time is even significantly less for the batters. It's just amazing to watch him actually pitch. And he's kind of got that unorthodox stance, and just there's a cool factor about Spencer Strider for sure. And for St. Louis, I think it was that Liberatore or something, if that's the pronunciation of his name. I think he's around 5 or 5.5 ERA. So definitely not really a good matchup for Spencer Strider. You're getting a top 5 offense pretty much in everything. I was seeing, 7th to 4th really in every offensive category for the Braves. And the Cards are good. They're just middle of the road, though, in most things. And so I see a major offensive advantage. You got home field, and you have Spencer Strider. I would go ahead and line up a run line, even though generally we don't like to take home teams on the run line. It's like minus 115, and I just think you're getting too much advantage for what this game is offering.
Well, and you saw it again last night. That Braves bullpen remains, top in this current little stretch that we're in. Boy, they really shut down those Cardinals bats. So, all right, Braves run line for you. Let's go ahead and get a good cash. Hopefully you can solve Strider. I have not been able to figure him out. When I fade him, he crushes. When I tail him, he throws up a stinker in terms of his strikeout prop. So stay away from his prop and do that run line. Good play right there, Squirrel. I'm going to jump over to this Rockies versus Diamondbacks. I really want to target this Rockies team in terms of their F5 team total. Going to go ahead and put 2 units on it. I tweeted out 2 prices at minus 115. And then for whatever reason, I guess people were betting the under because we got the over 2.5 at plus 105. So I went back in for another unit. We cashed their full game team total on Saturday. You guys remember we did over 6.5 runs. I'm just going to drop it to the F5 team total and really just target Dallas Keuchel. That's the reason why we made the cash on Saturday. He's on the bump again. Rockies are still crushing left-handers. They've still got the 5th best batting average. Again, they lit him up on Saturday. Then they went after that bullpen. Look, the Diamondbacks bullpen is better as of late. That's why I think I switched more to the F5 team total and thinking about it. Albeit, they obviously got touched up last night by that Giants team and kind of ruined a good plus dog that I thought we were going to cash. But the numbers here, their bullpen is still in a nice little stretch. So I'm just going to target Dallas Keuchel, a guy that obviously has been sent packing down to the minor leagues this season and is just here to eat up innings. They don't really care what they get from him. He's there to just soak up innings. He's going to get hit. He's going to get hard by a Rockies team that just destroyed him on Saturday. So I'll run back Saturday's winner. We'll have no problems doing it. We'll do it at minus 115, and we'll do it at plus 105 for the over 2.5 runs in the first 5. What's another game you want to talk about here in the second inning?
Well, I will attack that game that you just talked about in a later inning from another angle as well. But definitely good stuff there with the left-handed pitching matchup for the Rockies. I'm going to and I don't have access right now because I'm on my cell phone to the YouTube comments feed. But if DeGent is in here, it is an auto fade because who's on the mound for the Nationals? Joan Adon. Absolutely awful, has been from every statistical measurable category and his record as well. Now, who did he get sent down to the minors by?
We joked. Was this going to be his last start? We had a joke, whatever it was, 3 weeks ago.
Right. And that was the Phillies. And he's going to go against them again today. I'm going to, or at least what I was looking at, was the Phillies' first 5 team total over 2.5. And it is minus 140. I think you have kind of a similar angle, but a different bet. I think, if you're looking at getting on an over in the first 5 innings, if you're looking at backing the Phillies in the first 5 innings in any capacity, I think it's definitely the angle to take, though. Expecting runs, expecting the Phillies to crush Adon, and even the Phillies pitcher, his name's kind of fitting, isn't it? He may falter here.
Yeah, no, certainly. That's why I don't know if I would target the F5 money line. Just get runs. I mean, just full on get runs. You know what? Adon's going to look at those Phillies and go, damn, isn't that the team that sent me to the minors? And the Phillies are going to go, damn, didn't we send that guy to the minors? Let's do that again. I mean, this boy is just – we faded him all season. So glad he was happy – or so glad to see him back in the lineup. I missed him. I was kind of wondering where he was and didn't really think about it. I assumed he went down to the minors. Boy, he's going to get lit up. He's terrible. So, all right, so you're on was your pick the full game over? Is that what it was?
No, I was looking at the Phillies' first 5 team total over
right.
2.5. But after talking to you though, it may be worth just doing the first 5 over in general and not trying to, I don't know. I think either pitcher has the potential to get rocked, but Joan Adon terrible. So really, any way you want to kind of try to get runs in the first 5 innings there, I would support that.
All right, let's jump over now to the Royals versus Astros. Let's talk about this Astros F5 team total up 2.5 runs at minus 125. Astros are crushing left-handed pitching, generally speaking, like they have most of the season. They got the third best batting average, first in slugging. Love that they're bringing power to the plate versus left-handers, and they're fourth in on-base percentage. You got Bubic on the mound. We tailed him, but now it's time to fade him. He's in a little bit of a rough stretch. We cashed his last start on Saturday. Remember, we did the Tigers F5 team total. We were rewarded with the cash, and I think the Astros obviously a significantly better team than the Tigers. Again, they're third best right now, bringing the most power to the plate versus left-handers. Bubic is struggling. A no-brainer bet. When we talked about it there in the first inning quick hits, there were bets that just jumped off the page. This was a bet that jumped off the page with what the Astros are doing and what Bubic is doing. So let's cash out Astros F5 team total over 2.5 runs at minus 125. Let's go ahead and shut up and give these guys some pitching props. Did you have one?
Yeah, I was looking at Roansy Contreras. I think this is an early game. I want to say around 1 o'clock. There are 2 games, actually, between the Pirates and the Reds, and I think I mentioned in the second inning we have not gotten a line on the second game, game number 2, unless it's populated now at this point. But when I was doing my research, there was nothing. I do have a lot of interest in that game as well, but Roansy Contreras will be the Pirates pitcher for game number 1 in the early afternoon here. And kind of an interesting line of over under 4.5 strikeouts. I was looking at him to go over the 4.5 at a low price of minus 105, due to the fact that the Reds right now are the number 1 strikeout team against right-handed pitching. And he's not too bad. I think from what I can remember off the top of my head, it was like a 2-something ERA. Contreras not too bad, and I think he has a pretty good history of strikeouts as well.
Love that pick. I was so close to making that, but I wanted to kind of keep my cards smallish and not expose my unit. But now I love that pick. Sure. And Contreras hasn't seen the Reds, even though they are in the same division. He hasn't seen it. He's going to have a lot of success, certainly through the first time of the rotation, maybe in the second time. So love that pick right there. I'm going to go to that guy, Bailey Falter, who you mentioned is going to falter today. I think that's exactly what he does there. I'm going to go under 3.5 Ks at minus 118. Part of this is a trend that we've done. Remember, we've talked about the Nationals just remain one of the better strikeout teams in terms of not striking out. This is a play that we've targeted against the Nationals. We've been rewarded with cashes. Sure, we've had some losses, but we've won this one more times than not. So I'm going to do Bailey Falter under 3.5 Ks. The Nationals are currently the 4th best team in striking out. They just don't strike out. He did get these Nationals to strike out 4 times 2 starts ago, but I'm just not expecting to have as much success as it did, in those 2 starts ago against these Nationals. It's only cashed in 1 of his 4 starts, admittedly, but I just love this Nationals team. They just don't strike out. So Bailey Falter under 3.5 Ks. I like that one at minus 118. Let me give you guys another one. I'm going to do Jordan Lyles there of the Baltimore Orioles. They have over 4.5 Ks at minus 124. You mentioned the Reds have the most strikeouts. The Angels have the 2nd most strikeouts. They are absolutely terrible. And go along with that, they have the 3rd least amount of walks. This team chases pitches up out of the zone. The Angels also come in hitting 172 versus right-handers. They're the worst team in terms of slugging percentage right now versus right-handers. Lyles has cashed this in 8 of his 16 starts. He's coming off a nice outing where against the Twins, that we like them, he got them to strike out 7 Ks and only gave up 1 run. I love Jordan Lyles today to have over 4.5 Ks at minus 124. Did you have another one?
Nope, that was all I had for pitching props today. If you're moving into underdogs, though, I don't think that there really are a lot of viable options, at least for what I would consider a long shot. I do kind of want to mention, though, just from my experience with the NHL and the long shots that you would think there's not a chance in hell that they're going to win, and they start putting, the Washington Capitals minus 500 or minus 600 or whatever. Sometimes those do come in. I wouldn't really actually recommend taking something like the Kansas City Royals plus 300, but I did want to talk about the fact that they are plus 300. How often have we seen that even, this season? I can't remember a game. I'm sure maybe there has been 1 or 2, but it's just pretty rare, I think, to see a line that high.
I think people are just jumping on it because it's down to 280, and I think people are along your side of thinking where it's like 300. That's just too much. man. It's just too much. So
Right.
that being
And this
said, I think
morning,
the Royals
when
get crushed.
when I bring that money distribution idea to the table, like there was actually a surprising amount of money on the Royals, and I think that's just one of those like toss a 20 on it kind of value deal, where it's just in case, and that's what you call a long shot. But is it really a legitimate play that we expect to even come close to winning with Chris Bubich? No, not at all. It's not. But
Yeah.
Another point I want to make real quick is the +1.5, the run line in baseball is not like in hockey at all. I think it's not nearly as good as people think it is. I think it's kind of a false sense of security, and you're really giving up a lot of juice for something that doesn't hit as often as you might think it would, due to the nature of baseball being a higher scoring game, right? I mean, you can have blowout scores like yesterday's Yankees with a 16-0 game. The run line would not save you that often, where inherently hockey is just a tighter scoring game. There aren't as many goals, and the +1.5 makes more sense in a sport like that.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with that right there. All right, I agree. Yeah, the Royals is maybe worth a sprinkle, but you don't expect that cash to come home. I'm going to think the Red Sox. I agree with you. Tough day for underdogs, but I do like the Red Sox. Man, but let's get the cash here. We were burned yesterday by those Diamondbacks and that pin faulting us late, but I like the Red Sox here. Garrett Cole struggles versus the Red Sox, but he really struggles at Fenway. This is not a park that he enjoys playing at. So I think at +146, I think the Boston Red Sox are in it. Obviously, two good offenses. They do not have the bullpen advantage. Boy, that Yankees bullpen just remains really sharp and one of the best in all of major leagues. But if the Red Sox can hit Cole like they hit Cole and like they hit Cole at Fenway Park, then I think they can walk home with the +146 cash for everybody. So in a day in which I thought underdogs were tough, I'll go ahead and back the Red Sox at +146. Let's go ahead and give these guys some hitting props in the fifth inning. We call it keep swinging. What guys are you going to target today with the bat?
Mine is in the form of game number 2 of the Pirates and the Reds, which I didn't have a line on. You might be able to check for me, since I kind of can't right now, and see if there are lines available. There were 2 guys, and the one I kind of keyed in on a little bit more was Key Brian Hayes of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Malley has been getting rocked by a couple of these Pittsburgh Pirates batters, Hayes being one of them, and there was another guy on that roster. I cannot come up with the name for the life of me who it was, but I would look into a couple of those Pittsburgh Pirates batters, and I know Hayes has done well. I think he's had somewhere around 11 to 15 plate appearances, and he's hit them for 7 or 8 hits. So pretty great numbers there against Malley on the Reds. So I would look into game number 2 for the Pirates batters.
Okay, I just checked while you were talking. We still don't have any odds for that game 2. It's because the Reds haven't announced a starter. There are rumors of it being Malley, but we don't quite have that quite confirmed yet. So there will be no risk in getting that bet in, because when the bets are available, you'll know. Yeah.
Tentatively, if it's Malley, then take a look at the Pittsburgh Pirates batters for game number 2.
Okay. Well, Mr. Heat just gave away one of mine, Bogarts. Yeah, Bogarts likes to crush Garrett Cole, so Mr. Heat's right on that one. Another one I'm on, though, is Jock Peterson. There of the San Francisco Giants. He's 8 for 14 against Musgrove, bringing 2 doubles, 1 triple, and 4 home runs. That's 7 of his 8 hits off of Musgrove have been for extra base hits. How can you not love over 1.5 total bases at +140 for Jock Peterson there of the Giants? How about also Mike Trout? I'm not expecting a lot of great things against Jordan Lyles, but Mike Trout is a guy who's hit Jordan Lyles pretty hard. He's 8 for 18 against Lyles with 3 doubles and 2 home runs. You can get his over 1.5 total bases at +115. And one other guy I want to target is Matt Chapman. There are the Blue Jays, but we don't have those bets up because the Blue Jays don't have a starter. But he's had nice numbers against Gonzalez and a little bit bigger sample size. He's 14 for 35 against Gonzalez with 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run. So we'll just kind of wait to see if he's an over 0.5 hits kind of candidate or an over 1.5 total bases. But those are 3 guys that I'm going to be looking to target. I made some arbitrage money yesterday. I'm going to be looking to do a parlay of Peterson, Trout, and Chapman is where I'm thinking about leaning there with that. So with that being said, let's turn to the 6th inning. We call it It's a Steal. What's on the board that just jumped out at you?
I thought it was a steal the second I saw the left-handed versus left-handed pitching matchup of the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, with two pitchers that just saw these teams exactly 5 days ago, between Gomber and Keuchel. Just between those two guys, I think they gave up 11 runs, Gomber giving up 4 and Keuchel giving up 7, I want to say it was. And that was just 5 days ago. And we talk about, or at least you like to take the angle of the hitter's advantage when they've just seen a pitcher. They, kind of got the arsenal of the pitcher, and they kind of know what to expect from him. And they both got hit pretty well. Now, granted, this was in Colorado. It was at altitude, so that may have had a little bit to do with it. But still, you're getting a line of over 9.5. And Rockies, again, number one offense usually, or number one batting average at least, against left-handed pitching. I mean, so there's just a lot to like there.
I mean, yeah, Rockies are just crushing left-handers. Again, we mentioned Keuchel's just season-long struggles being down in the minor leagues. I like that play right there. I love the familiarity angle as well. Obviously, that's one of the things I like to handicap baseball in. All right, 6th inning. I'm going to give you guys not a great day for NRFIs, to be quite honest. There's one obvious one that just jumps off the board, but it's super juicy. Both Musgrove and Logan Webb have both been really good in the first inning. So if you want to do Padres Giants, if you want to drink all that juice, that's on you. I think there's two good rifies you could go ahead and play. Of course, that's run scored in the first inning. Nats Phillies, we're both expecting those starters to get hit. And also, I think Rockies Diamondbacks, you touched on it. We're both expecting a lot of runs in that one. So those could be two games where you look for runs. I thought I would do that because I didn't think there were really that many good NRFIs. That being said, there's an absolute steal on the board. It's that Red Sox F5 team total, and it's only at over 1.5 runs. They're giving it at over 1.5 runs because of what maybe the stretch that Garrett Cole's on. But again, go look up his numbers up against this Red Sox team and look at him against Fenway. He got rocked versus the Red Sox in his season opener where he gave up 3 runs. He got rocked in the postseason when it was at Fenway last season. And in 2 of his 3 additional starts last season in 2021, the Red Sox just crushed him at Fenway. I don't know what it is with this guy. He does not go into Fenway and pitch well. So if you're only asking me the Red Sox to get 2 runs at minus 115, sign me up all day long. I think it's an absolute steal with how these Red Sox have such great numbers off Garrett Cole. So I think that's a bona fide steal today on a day when there's not really that many good NRFIs. 7th inning time coming to a stretch. What was your best bet of the day, Squirrel?
Back to the top of the innings, I guess. I really have a thing for Spencer Strider and the Atlanta Braves there. I will take them as a home team on the run line, which generally is a little better to take a run line on the away side of things, but I just think there's too much of an advantage from the offensive categories and really the quality of the starting pitcher. I would expect, by the time that that St. Louis Cardinals pitcher is getting pulled, we should have enough of a lead there. At least is the expectation. And at a minus 115, I will take the Braves.
All right, Braves run line for you. For me, the best bet of the day is Nationals Phillies F5 over 5.5 runs at minus 110. It's Adon, it's Falter. We've talked about it. I mean, happy Adon day. We haven't had Adon to fade in a few weeks. Well, here he comes right on back. So, yeah, Nationals rocked Falter. What was it, 2 starts ago? There's a lot to like here. Just bet that F5 over and live with the result, whatever happens. But the people who deserve it cash doesn't mean we'll get it, but there's so much to support it. So just bet it and live with the result. Let's move it over to the 8th inning. Double play. We want to give these guys a parlay today. What's a parlay you got cooked up?
I had 2 really nice systems today on both New York teams. We'll go with a New York parlay of the Yankees and the Mets, actually. I have those coming in on the money line somewhere around 67 or 68%, and you're getting minus 170s on both of those, which are implied odds of around 62%. So there's definitely a statistical edge there. You're getting Garrett Cole. At least on one side, I know you just said that he's not great at Fenway and all that, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot, at least from the data model edges that I have, at least for both of those teams.
Okay, in my parlay, I've got two teams I want to put in a parlay that have the starter advantage, the bullpen advantage, and the hitting advantage. That's your Orioles over the Angels, and that's your White Sox over the Tigers. It was a pretty easy parlay. You can play these as singles for whatever reason. The Orioles are like minus 105 or what have you. You can get great. You can just play the Orioles alone, but I love the Orioles so much. I dropped it in a parlay with the White Sox at plus 174. Jordan Lyles, Angels just been struggling. He's going to get through them. Love what this Orioles team has been doing. That bullpen's been improving lately. Orioles, White Sox for me is an absolute no-brainer in sports with Dylan Cease on the mound against Briske. He's been terrible, absolutely terrible. So, yeah, Orioles, White Sox, easy for me, plus 174. All right, let's go ahead and give these guys all of our bets. And then
I don't think I attached the odds to mine. I got a plus 150 on the Yankees and Mets.
Plus 150. Cool. They're going to – Cole's going to give up 2 runs, and then they're going to switch over and win that game.
All right.
Let's put up all of our bets, and then let's run through all these. There's a couple games we need to talk about that we haven't talked about yet. I could have bet more stuff today, folks. Try and keep it in check, but boy, I could have thrown it out. But what I did bet was that F5 over in Nats versus Phillies, over 5.5 at minus 110. Rockies F5 team total over 2.5 is going to be a 2-unit play for me at minus 115 and at plus 105. That Astros F5 team total over 2.5 runs at minus 125. Red Sox F5 team total over 1.5. I don't know why we're getting that at 1.5, but I'll go ahead and bet it at minus 115. And then Falter's going to have under 3.5 Ks there with the Phillies, and Jordan Lyles of the Orioles will have over 4.5 Ks. What about for you?
Yeah, Braves run line. I'm going with my best bet and my steal for the day. Backing Spencer Strider, as I've talked about, and the offense, really everything I think is a pretty major advantage there. For the Braves and the Rockies and Diamondbacks, that lefty versus lefty matchup. The pitchers just saw each other 5 days ago, and the batters just saw the pitchers 5 days ago. Granted, it was in Colorado, but 11 runs combined just from the starting pitchers. The Rockies being so good against left-handed pitching. If there's anything else I wrote down about that game, I think that's pretty much about it. But it looks great. So I will take the over 9.5 there in that game against the Diamondbacks.
All right, let me go ahead and jump over to BetUS. We'll talk about all these games from a run line, money line, over-under perspective. Been enjoying the comments today. God, you guys make this show so fun. So thank you guys for those great comments. Let's go ahead and kick it off first. Royals and Astros over 7.5, 285 money line, minus 345. You can't even do the Astros run line. Like that's
no.
Verlander's not getting hit. I don't know. God, his prices make it tough. I would say over 7.5. I mean, you could see Verlander give up maybe 2 runs, and Astros should just crush Bubik. So I'll go over 7.5.
Should, and I will do a very teeny tiny sprinkle on the Kansas City money line. I know I'm going to lose, but
that's like one of those plays you like put your lunch money on just so when it hits you can be like, yeah, I caught it. I called that Royals, dog. I caught it. You're not putting anything significant on it by any stretch, but yeah, put a little maybe sprinkle on it. Here's game 1, Pirates-Reds. Wanted to talk about this one. It's Contreras versus Minor, over-under of 9. Both of these teams are at minus 110. I would take that Pirates money line. Look, we faded Mike Minor. The only thing that made me a little bit nervous is a doubleheader, and supposedly Malley is going to go in game 2. I could see them giving Mike Minor a short leash because even though it is a doubleheader, he is just getting crushed. We know. We've been fading him and getting cashes. So I'll just take the Pirates at minus 110 with Mike Minor on the mound.
Absolutely, I would as well. And then if you're looking for that pitching prop, you know that the Reds strike out a lot as well, so that does feed into the Pirates' advantage, but also that Contreras over 4.5 strikeouts against the number 1 team that's striking out against right-handed pitching, which is the Cincinnati Reds. So you've got decent pitching on your side, and you've got a number 1 strikeout team. So yeah, absolutely Pirates.
Love it. All right, next on BetUS is Nationals and Phillies, over-under of 9.5. Nationals plus 150, Phillies at minus 170. Don't try and pick a winner. Just bet on runs. Easy said.
Yep, take the over.
Angels and Orioles, over-under of 9. Got minus 110 on both sides. The stats don't say this is an even game. The stats say the Orioles are way better. But the Orioles at minus 110.
Sure. I meant to look into that game a little bit more than I got a chance to. I kind of ran out of time before the show and whatnot. So I will take a second look at that game when I get a chance to. But I will believe you there, and we will go with the Orioles.
Yankees and Red Sox are up next. You like the Yankees at minus 170. I like the Red Sox at plus 145 with an over-under of 9. I'm going to go over 9. We're expecting Cole to get hit. I would also expect Winkowski to also get hit, if I'm being fair. So over 9.
Yeah, and it's not a huge advantage at minus 170, but there is statistically, at least from the data models that I look at and whatnot, that I expected around 68%, and you're being offered about 62%. So there is still something to be had at minus 170 for the Yankees. If you're interested in that side, it's by my opinion, not a bad bet.
And we only do run line, money line, over under in this segment, but really maybe just do the F5. That Yankees bullpen is good. They could be hard. Runs could be hard to come by late. So if you'd like an over in that, maybe just do the F5 over. So, all right, Marlins and Mets are up next with an over under of 8.5. Marlins plus 150, Mets minus 175 with a left-hander on the mound. I'm taking Mets run line at plus 120.
Cool. I think that was around minus 170 also, if I can remember correctly, for the Mets. Same exact deal as the Yankees. There's a bit there. It's around a 68%. You're being offered 62. Not a bad play.
Cardinals and Braves over under of 9. Cardinals plus 200. Braves minus 240. See, maybe this is where you can get your lunch money back if you sprinkle a little bit on Cardinals yesterday with that value. They're at plus 200. I would expect the Braves to win, but the Cardinals aren't plus 200 worse than the Braves, so maybe it's worth the sprinkle.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I have to stay with my best bet and go with the Braves run line with Spencer Strider. He's just too damn good. Just too damn good.
Tigers and White Sox with an over-under of 8, plus 200 for the Tigers, minus 240 of the White Sox. Cease has really cruised against this Tigers lineup. I'm going to take that take that White Sox run line at minus 120.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right, Giants and Padres up next with an over-under of 6.5. There's a reason I thought this was the best NRFI of the day. It was kind of a no-brainer play, but Giants plus 120, Padres minus 140. I'm going Padres minus 140. Those Giants still ticked me off last night. We didn't cash that plus money bet. Padres. And Logan Webb's not at home. Remember, Logan Webb's outstanding at home, but he's not at home today. It's in San Diego.
I thought, yeah, Logan Webb, right?
Yeah.
So I thought the exact same thing as you. I saw the game and I went, oh, Joe Musgrove, Padres at home, Giants haven't been Giants, taking it. I dove into the stats and felt quite uncomfortable when I started to see that, to me, it was washing out to be a 50-50 game, even in the offensive categories and whatnot. I think Logan Webb's good enough, at least. I mean, I would say that Joe Musgrove has the edge. He's at home the whole 9. But to me, it was closer to a 50-50 than I was willing to pay for, minus 140 or minus 135 for the Padres. So I laid off the game, but if I were going to bet it, yeah, I would take the Padres.
All right, 2 more over on BetUS is Rockies and Diamondbacks over under of 9.5. Rockies minus 115, Diamondbacks minus 105. Gomber's better than what the numbers are. Keuchel's on the mound. I'm just taking to say something different, right? We both like the over. If I had to pick a winner, I would take the take the Rockies. Take the Rockies.
Okay, yeah, yep, I like it, but I think the over is the best play there, but just to be a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, the over is by far the best play. And then to end it off tonight will be the Cubs taking on the Dodgers out in L.A. Over under of 8.5, plus 230 for the Cubs, minus 275 for the Dodgers. I'm taking Gonsolin and the Dodgers on that run line at minus 125.
Do you like an over?
What was that number? What did I say? 8.5?
8.5. I could see 9 runs in the. Oh wait, what did you say, Gonsolin?
Yeah, Gonsolin is not giving up a lot of runs.
Never mind. See, I was going to say, though.
Yeah, Juice is to the under pretty significantly.
Yeah. Oh, and that's solely because of Gonsolin, then.
I'm taking Giants or Dodgers run line.
Yeah. What's the price for the run line?
Minus 125.
Okay. I was going to say, so like if you got a pitcher that wasn't Gonsolin, I mean, if you got like a more average pitcher, I would love an over there because the Cubs offense has actually been fairly top of the board recently in the last couple of weeks here. You expect Dodgers to get runs at home. So you throw Gonsolin in there though, and yeah, I think that changes a lot. So Dodgers run line is probably the play.
Well, they got a 4-game set, so just keep that little nugget in the back of your head. Maybe an over will be a good play in that series, as you said. All right, that's how we'll do it here on this Thursday. Again, guys, you guys made the show. Thank you to everybody, whether you're sitting there silently enjoying the content or if you dropped in a comment. Thank you, and we'll come back tomorrow. We'll count up. We'll see where we fell at today's show, and we'll kick off Friday's show. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Yep, see you later.